Welcome to Society of Pop Culture War 01. We are live. I am your instructor, BK Spades.
I'm instructor Novacaine.
And listen, man, sorry for all the randomness and the tech issue at the beginning. If you're watching the recording of this, you probably won't see any of this. But for everybody that's jumping in, tuning in, or whatnot, how y'all doing today? So on today's live episode, we're going to be talking about the young lady in Georgia that has been declared brain dead, and Georgia is keeping her on life support because she was pregnant against her will. And also, we're going to be talking about the new Riri Williams show that's dropping June 24th, Ironheart, Marvel. And we're just going to be talking about some of the hate and some of the conversation around the show, because there's been a lot of chatter on both sides of this show. Really good arguments, really bad arguments, really terrible takes, really good takes. So we're gonna jump into a little bit of that and give our opinions. And if we have time at the end, we're gonna do some last things that we're thinking about on our minds that we want to talk about. That's not our main topics. Anyway, Novacaine, I'm gonna hand the floor over to you.
I'm still weak off of the pre-intro.
The
Okay,
pre-intro was beautiful.
the
Don't hate.
pre-intro was great. It was the most beautiful thing we've done in a very long time.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna start off, like you said, with talking about this pregnant young lady by the name of Adriana Smith. Adriana Smith was having some headaches and things going on back in February. Uh, she went to the hospital because she's having these really, really bad headaches. All they did was give her medication. They didn't do any tests on her. They didn't even, try to figure out anything that was going on. No blood tests, no CT scans, nothing. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent her home. A few weeks later, short time later, I should say, short time later, she has to get rushed back to the hospital with these headaches. Come to find out, she has blood clots. They asked the family what would they like to do to relieve the blood clots on the brain. Um, and the family, her mom, let them know that go ahead and do it. Well, unfortunately, by the time they were trying to prep for the surgery to relieve the blood
Mm-hmm.
clots, Adriana was already pronounced dead. At the time, Adriana was just freshly pregnant in her pregnancy. She's more than 20 weeks pregnant currently. Since she is in the state of Georgia, Adriana has to remain pregnant. Her body, I should say, because since she's brain dead, there has not been one human that has come back from being brain dead, but her body is still pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And since she's in the state of Georgia, they have these laws in place, and basically her body is just the incubator for this little baby inside. And we don't even know what's going to happen to the baby. There's a lot going on with this case. um it's starting to become a lot of chatter. When I brought this conversation up to BK about a week and a half ago, I didn't even see national news covering it.
It was definitely slow.
It was a very, very slow burn. There's a few reasons why. Oh, before we get to that part, she's, like I said, she's more than 20 weeks. They're not going to pull the plug, even though this is what her family wish is, to pull the plug. They
Mm-hmm.
want to pull the plug because she is with child. At this point, her body is with child.
Yeah.
Like I said, she's a vegetable. There's when If you don't understand being brain dead, people basically you just gone, but your heart is beating. Your
Yeah.
Her heart isn't even beating on its own. It's beating because of machines. She's being pumped nutrients, whatever they got to do to keep the blood flowing with the heart and making sure the baby is fed. This is a really really hard thing that her parents have to go through and her family. She does have a partner. She also has an older child. He's still pretty young, but she has another child. Um, I'm sorry, it's just so hard to talk about this because when I first saw this story, I just instantly cried.
It's it's extremely heartbreaking, and it raises concerns for me
Yeah.
because what is this really about? Is this really um about is this really being pro life? Is this what pro life looks like?
Oh, and that's another thing. So
Or
they're saying that this child may have a lot of different difficulties, maybe blind, maybe can't be able to walk, might have to be wheelchair bound. They don't even know if this baby is going to survive after being born.
so do we know the chances of this baby being normal in this society in every sense of the word,
Very, very
or
low.
very low chances of the baby not having any defects? It's what are the chances of the baby even living?
They're saying that's not really high either.
Jeez, it honestly
So
this
how's
this feels more like control
mm,
than being pro life, and I think this is what this is always about. And this is just me speculating. I am not in the head of any senator or anybody in Georgia. Morally, I'm Christian. All right, so
mhm.
I understand the debate. I get it. I understand being pro life. Totally understand it. Every life is valuable. I understand that to the fullest. But at the end of the day, this woman is brain dead. We are walking a very, very fine line right now on what it means to be human, what it means to be dehumanized, and what it means to be in the matrix.
Mhm.
Because let's just be real here. This is some matrix level stuff. How often does this happen? Like, I don't even know. I've never heard of this before. This is all new to me. But I don't like where this is going for society. Like at all.
It's not a good look. We all know that this all started with, the overturn of Roe v. Wade
Yeah.
and just little bills, sporadically just started popping up, like literally like the next day, same week of like going against it. This was one of those bills.
So we got to go back when you brought up Roe v. Wade. The conservative part of this country, at least like the powerful conservatives, the evangelicals,
Mm,
have been working behind the scenes and in front of the scenes for so long to pull that Roe v. Wade destruction plug. Like they've been working really hard. Like
mm,
I've never seen something that well oiled take that many L's
mm.
and still persevere to the finish line. Like how many times have they been beaten? How many times have this been stopped? But again,
There's
given
so
what
many things that I just feel about this situation. It just makes me so emotional. Like I'm literally trying to sit here and think about it. I'm like, yeah, we're going to talk about it, but like, is this what you guys want? Is everyone that we're like, yeah, we're so pro life. This is what you guys want. There's a family right now that is suffering watching their basically grandchild that's being incubated in a sense through their mom that's brain dead.
if it doesn't feel good. And I don't know if winning an argument or owning the libs is worth this.
It's not. It's not. There's also parts of me where, because I'm starting to see, like I said, I'm starting to see more and more cheddar. Now there's parts of me that's feeling like, is this a whole experiment going on? Because one, why didn't they do any type of test when she initially said there was something wrong with her?
Yeah,
If I'm
but
in the emergency room, you should at least draw my blood.
yeah, but what type of insurance did she have? Because you know that also plays a part in how they treat you at the gate. What type of debts did she have with the hospital? All of that stuff can play a part in it. It shouldn't play a part in it. If anybody comes through the doors of a hospital, they should automatically get the service they needed because that's the oath the doctors take. Am I wrong there? I don't know, but it's to my
You
knowledge that's
did
the
definitely
oath.
say something right there when it comes to the health insurance. You said something right there.
Yeah. So,
Does play a huge part.
and like I was saying, it really shouldn't play that big of a part because not everybody's going to have the same level of health insurance.
Exactly.
Not everybody's going to have the same benefits someone with more money has
Right.
here. And I think this is why I am such an advocate for universal health care,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we have moments where people could live, people could have great lives, people could birth people that can contribute to this country in the future. People that may have passed away were contributing to this country right now, and we're letting go of great people and great minds for the sake of an argument of owning each other. And I think that is so stupid and it is so annoying, and I can't wait till we get to a point in this country where that no longer exists, where we all can agree that healthcare is more important than a lot of the other crazy stuff we're arguing about. I mean, we're wasting so much money right now. We can afford it. We saw that we can afford so much in this
Of
country that's good for
course.
this country, and they refuse to allow any type of help for anybody.
It's not about us. It's not about us. That goes back to everything that's going on with this administration right now. We always been talking about there should be more taxes against the, millionaires and billionaires. You think they got that yet? No. Then we're starting to. I'm about to start talking about something else, and I don't want to do that because then it's going to make me more angry. And
Oh,
this is
uh,
already a touchy subject.
so I do
Also,
believe.
also, they're being forced to pay for the medical bills when it's not their wishes. I meant to add that as well to there.
Hold on, that's a whole nother situation right there.
They're being forced to pay. They need to sue. They need to sue.
That's like when these people get detained on the mistake of the government still put them on bond.
Yeah.
Like that guy that got accused. This has nothing to do with the US government, but it was a man that was accused, this woman accused of walking into the store trying to take her daughter or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the police came, they didn't check the cameras, they locked him up. I think he did a month or more. They didn't give him bond or anything like that. They didn't check the video. Again, they did not check the video. And then when they did let him out, I think he had to go out on bond. Like, why is he go? Why didn't he just walk free? I don't know anymore. I haven't heard anything else after that because let's just be honest here. We in America are on a 24-hour news cycle. Every 24 hours, there's something bigger happening. Um, but at the same time, that's absolutely ridiculous to me. It feels ridiculous to me that the government can make a mistake and then you still have to pay for it. That's
That's not fair. That's not
absolutely
fair.
not.
So you make a mistake, I gotta pay for it, and all the mistakes I make, I gotta pay for it too. That's not fair. That's not
So what?
fair.
So how do we? I don't know, like, because I've been listening to all these politicians have this argument here recently about what the government is liable for and what they're not liable for, and
The thing is, the government don't want to admit that they're wrong.
you have to force them to, which is what I
They
was getting at.
they
Like, you
do
have to force them to.
like they're like, well, that wasn't us. Here's another bill. Let's throw something in there to get these people to shut up for a hot little second. Here's
Like
another
we
bill.
we saw that several times in history with like Martin Luther King. And there's another case that happened with the government I just read about. It was I think it was a war, one of the major, maybe it was Vietnam or something like that. I have to
Mhm.
research that one. I ain't gonna bring that one. We're gonna erase that one from the records. But point is, there are many cases you can go look up right now where the government makes mistakes, and you have to sue them or force them to admit it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's usually like 30, 40, 50 years later when it doesn't matter anymore.
And then people are all over the world like Americans aren't accountable. Look at the freaking government. Like, oh
we
Jesus
were we were
Christ.
definitely bred to not, as Americans, we're definitely bred not to take accountability for
Jesus
actions. It's like,
Christ.
if you ain't see me do it, I'm gonna deny it until you have proof. And then when you have proof, I ain't do it I ain't do it either way. It wasn't me. It's crazy. I
I
did see a
really
I,
pray.
I
I'm sorry,
did
go
see a
ahead.
study on Google about this, uh, whether or not a brain dead woman or the cases. But the problem with this one is only 35 cases, and 35 cases
35
is
cases where people came back from brain dead?
not from brain death. No,
Oh.
no. 35 brain death pregnancies.
Mm-hmm.
And they said 77 were born alive. 85 of those had normal outcomes at 20 months. So
So they
the
wouldn't know.
later the later the
What do you mean 20
pregnancy,
weeks? When like if the mom went brain dead at 20 weeks.
it didn't go into all of that.
Is
I'm
that what it's
Googling.
saying?
It's at 20 months now.
20 months. The kid, a baby,
I'm gonna say
a
I think
human
it
can't
means
be
20
pregnant.
weeks.
Yeah, I was about to
I
say a human can't be pregnant for 20 months.
I mean, I know that, but
What you reading?
you know what I'm reading. It's Google. You know how it goes. Uh 20 weeks. We're gonna say 20 weeks. I
Uh-huh.
think it was just an accident here.
Start that sentence over with 20 weeks.
In a study of 35 cases of brain death in pregnancy, 77% of the neonates were born alive, and 85% of those had normal outcomes at 20 months. Now, mind you, this is only 35 cases, so this is a very, very,
That's
very
very
small,
small. That's
yeah.
way too small.
And it's not
That's
exactly
it
telling
says, and
us,
it's crazy because it said 35 cases, 77% of them, 80% of them were successful after the 20 allegedly weeks.
yeah. But you
So that's
have to
still
also,
only like 20 something people.
you still have to also take into account the health of the mother,
Yep.
um, the probably the facilities that they had access to. All of that plays a part. What
Yeah.
part of the country they're from, what neighborhood they live in.
Yeah.
Because what a lot of people don't know about healthcare is one of the reasons it varies is because your doctors vary, your staff varies, who you have access to varies, what you have access to varies. This
Mm-hmm.
house UAB in Birmingham, one of the best hospitals ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, the same service that you can get at UAB, you wouldn't get into my home. You wouldn't get in my hometown at Gaston, Alabama, because they just don't have the same resources.
Mm-hmm.
And smaller hospitals sure don't have those same resources, and they're shutting them down left and right. So that's also something to think about. Um, a systematic review found that 63% of the reported cases led to viable childbirth after prolonged somatic support. Um,
Mm.
so again,
So basically, it has to be very long. So now I'm starting to think that they're saying 20 months that the child is successfully like back on schedule by 20 months. I think they're
yeah,
saying that there's still going to be some type of delay or something before 20 months. But by the
that's what it sounds
time,
like.
yeah, by the time the child is 20 months, they're going to be somewhat okay in a sense.
If if they get the help they need.
Get the help they need. And that's the part.
So what's the gamble on that? What if
Jesus
that person
Christ.
again? It comes back to resources. What type of resources you have,
Exactly.
and that's what makes this.
Lord.
That's what makes this so egregious, in
Yeah.
my opinion, because this woman had wishes. We don't know
Yeah.
what her scenarios are, what her situations is at home or when she was alive, and this may have been the best decision.
Yeah.
And as a Christian man, I want to bring that back up again. We in we believe we have pro-choice. We believe God gave us choices. You can do this or you can do that. Yes, there are consequences to those choices, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But what we choose to do is on us, not on you. We shouldn't be forcing people to make the same decisions that we will make. You have to let those people make the decisions on their own,
Yeah.
and that's on them. Whatever the outcomes are in whatever you believe, whatever the outcomes when that person passes away and leaves this earth, that is on them,
Yeah.
not you. But if you keep inserting yourself in other people's decisions and making them make these types of decisions, then you will be held accountable for those. And I'm saying that because the people that are fighting against this are the evangelical people. They are the deep Baptist people who are saying this. So it's a relevant statement that if we believe in the same Jesus Christ and God, then you have to know that what you do on this earth, you lead somebody wrong, you tell somebody the wrong thing, eh, that's gonna follow you, especially if you're a preacher. Anyway,
Exactly. I'm saying one more thing. I do pray for this family. I hope that this child can make it. I do pray that, this child is going to be successful and everything that these doctors are saying aren't true because, they're just
absolutely.
doctors.
Agreed.
I really,
Agreed.
really pray that, the situation becomes better. Unfortunately for Adriana, baby, I'm praying for your rest, your comfort, for the family. And it's like I said, it's just really touchy. I'm huge pro choice. Uh, they should be going with the family wishes on this. And that's all I'm going to say.
What's her name one more time?
Adriana Smith.
Adriana Smith.
Hmm.
All right, we got to move on. And I don't have like a great way to move on from such a heavy topic. So we're just going to jump into the next topic of the episode tonight. And that is Riri Williams, Marvel's Ironheart. We're going to be talking about some of the fallout that we've seen happen on the internet. We're going to start with the Marvel part of this because a lot of, especially us in the black nerddom, the blurred side of things, we're like, where is the marketing for Riri Williams?
Hello? What is that?
Because we've seen a couple of this show is 3 years old at this point. Like this was done 3 years ago.
They did it 3 years ago?
Yes.
So they did
Now
it
I don't.
when Wakanda Forever came out?
Yes. So I don't know what type of changes they made or what the plans are or were then, but the show was 3 years. This is 3 years ago. The show was pretty much art done.
BK. I did not know that part.
Crazy, right? And I'm starting to see a pattern. And this is me with my conspiracy theory hat on here.
Uh oh.
Um, because we saw this with Captain America too. It
That was supposed to
seems
come out
like
like last year.
yes, and I don't know if this is falling from the fallout from Kang and what's his name? What's the actor name that played Kang?
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors. Thank you. I don't know if this is the fallout from Jonathan Majors, and it very well could be. But ever since then, it seems like, and with, and I hate to say it because we have to bring it back around with Trump coming into the picture again. Hey
Oh,
man,
thank you,
thank y'all for riding through,
thank
checking
you,
this out
JJ.
today.
Hey, DJ. Hey, JJ.
Um,
Thank you. Have a good night, girl. Get some rest.
Absolutely. Given with the president and the rhetoric during the campaign and how everybody just kind of went anti black, the Target thing. Disney is a business, and I remember I think it's Bob Iger made some comments to that effect because we also remember Tiana being getting her own show. Then it got canceled too.
I was
It
just talking
seems
about that.
it seems like Black was on the chopping block.
Is Black not in anymore? We they rode our wave. Now they gotta pick somebody else.
That's what it feels like. So what are we missing? What happened in those shows that made them change it or made them delay it for so
Ooh.
long? Because I feel like it's
Ooh.
just not reshuffling of the movies. I think it's more than that.
I think it is too.
And we
Especially the
also,
Tiana show. Like a lot of people I've seen, have mixed emotions about the show. Some people don't want to see it. Some people do want to see it. Me personally, I definitely want to see it because like they get in that restaurant.
yeah,
Why
I
wouldn't we
definitely
want
wanted
to
to see it.
see? Why wouldn't we want to see an entrepreneur, black princess?
Yeah.
Why would we want to see that American bread at that point? Hello, what's happening
So
here?
all right, we got to move on from Tiana
I'm
because this ain't
sorry.
about Tiana,
It's not
okay?
about Tiana. It's
I
not
love
about
Tiana,
Tiana.
but this
It
ain't
ain't
about
about
Tiana.
Tiana. You right. You right. You right. Because
Um,
because listen, I feel like this is what's going to happen with Riri as well. I thought she was going to get a whole movie. I didn't realize it's going to be a mini series.
well, there was the Armor War movies that was supposed to come out, and I think Don Cheadle was going to be involved. I don't know if what is Tony Hawk? What is Tony Stark's assistant slash wife name in the movie?
Penny.
I know she's rescue. She's the rescue armor.
Penny
I
Potts.
Penny Potts. Thank you.
Pepper Potts.
Pepper
I'm
Potts.
sorry.
So I think Pepper may have played a role in that. So
Mm-hmm.
we was I'm not sure where it was gonna go at this point, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay with it being a mini series because I think she needed more time for people to understand her. Bringing her into Wakanda forever and then pushing her show back so far did her more disservice than it did
Yes,
anything
it
because
did.
we don't know if she's connected to Tony. We only know that she has an Iron Man armor. In the
That's
comic
it.
books, she's very much connected to Tony, and she's mild spoiler alert. She is
Uh
the reason. She is the reason he comes back to life because he dies in the comic book. He takes her in because she was stealing his tech at
oh. Mm-hmm.
MIT. So he goes to check it out, find out that she's a genius. She becomes a protege. Now, mind you, she ain't the first protege of Tony Stark. This
Right.
is like, I mean, Rhodey technically also counts. But anyway, she becomes the protege of Tony Stark. Um, Eventually, he dies in the comic. She takes over his book for a while before she eventually becomes her own person. But this is after he shows up as an AI, and now we know that's not happening because we see in the trailer that she has her own AI already. So I don't think we have time to see Robert Downey Jr. as the AI for her. I'm sure they'll probably make a reference to his consciousness being in there somewhere, but we probably won't see it. So
There's less than 1 million views on this trailer on YouTube.
that's because nobody knows it exists.
And it has not that many views, but it has so many dislikes on it. And we're going to run into that thing again where a lot of those online Marvel fans that hate women.
No, no. We're not calling them Marvel fans. We're calling them people that watch superhero films. but they don't
Ooh,
really know the
yeah,
source
you're right.
material. And I'm
You're
as
right. You're
I'm not
right.
saying you have to know the source material. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is
You should respect it.
there's an understanding that you need to have and respect it where it's going. You're saying it's not, we seen a small trailer that wasn't like a meat and potatoes trailer that it should have been. I absolutely agree with that. But we don't know what the story is, and you guys are disliking it, just like y'all did with Captain America, just like y'all did with Captain Marvel, the new Captain Marvel
The
films.
Marvels.
What the Marvels? Thank you. What does those films have in common? Hmm?
Women and black folks.
Hmm. It seems like a common denominator to me. Anytime that someone has a mantle and then a black person come in with a similar mantle, it's a problem. And you start getting the same arguments. They didn't deserve the mantle. It should have been the white superhero that was adjacent to them that got the mantle. Um, they came out of nowhere. And I want to pause it right there. Every superhero came out of nowhere, man.
Hello?
They all do.
That's literally what
Superman,
happens to a superhero.
Superman came out of nowhere. Spider-Man came out of nowhere. Batman came out of nowhere. And then the other one is, well, no
Iron
one
Man.
came out of nowhere. Like, I don't know a superhero that didn't come out of nowhere. Miles Morales, when he started, he came
I
out of
guess
nowhere.
I guess the only ones that wouldn't have come out of nowhere, but technically they're more of a superhero. They're like deities, like Thor.
Yeah,
So that's more. He's more of a. He's more than just a superhero. He's a whole god.
that's a
So,
great argument. Now, if they was making that argument,
but they're
that
not
I think
because
that'll
they
fly.
don't. Because, like you said, they're not fans.
No, they're not real fans
They're
because
not real fans.
it's okay if you see a project and you don't like it.
Hmm.
But to dog a project before you see it, to act like you know what's going on. You know how I know a lot of these not real fans of Riri, and they saying like they're not following the source material. How do you know? Because she has a bulky armor.
What they gotta
Newsflash:
do, if anything?
it started
And
bulky.
I was about to say, don't it start bulky just like Iron Man's first suit is
Yes,
huge? Oh, okay.
yes.
It's a
Well,
whole
this one
thing.
that the white one that she ended with, yeah, that's in the comic book too. We're basically following the comic, as far as I can tell. The hood is a part of her storyline. Magic is a part of her storyline. Now, true enough, for the fans, for the real fans that are critiquing this, that didn't like Riri when they picked up the comic book, the first
Hmm.
one,
Hmm.
I understand that. A lot of you jumped off with the Brian Michael Bendis run. A lot of us jumped off that run because they did the whole gun violence, death of a parent thing. I think it was gun violence. It's been like, was it like 2015, 2014? It's been a while since I've read the intro of her comic. I need to go back and read it again. But I get that. A lot of us jumped off at that point because we were tired of seeing the black trauma of it all. Understandable. But that comic book was taken over by someone else, Eve Ewing. And when she came in, she revamped Riri. She made her feel like a teenager. She made her feel like a black female teenager. She made her authentic. And it is in my opinion that I think that if we trust Ryan Coogler and the person and the people that was writing this story, I think they're gonna take some of Brian Michael Bendis, and I think they're gonna take the bulk of her personality from the Eve Ewing run, and they're gonna blend those things. That is my prediction, and that is my hope. But we don't know that, and we should give them time to show us that before we go in and say, I don't want this, I don't like this. Because I think the who is this for, who wants this, who asked for this argument is stupid.
So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with this show.
I am too. I'm hoping they fill in a lot of the blanks. I'm hoping there are
Yes,
backstories to
yes,
tell us what happened, and I hope they come before Wakanda and then jump back in after.
yes, yes. I hope so too. I hope there's more. Since it's her show, of course, it's going to circle around her. But I just hope that I know her completely as a character by the end of the series. So it's a mini
Yeah,
series, right?
I do believe so.
It's not
June
a, they
24th.
they didn't say series, just mini series.
Yeah, I don't think it's ongoing because all of
But you
this
know what
again
else?
has been shot. I don't think Marvel doing like ongoing series like that from their comic
You
movies.
know what else? I've heard. Apparently, sorry, I'm sorry. It's late. You know what else I've heard? That
What's that?
she is there. I'm sorry. That Disney is going to drop 3 episodes at once, and it's a mini series. So mini series are only like 6 to 8 episodes, right?
Yeah, which probably means they're not confident in the start.
Exactly. And I'm not a fan of that. So what we're gonna have to do is support this joint.
We got to do this like we do all the projects. Do not let
Yeah.
this go the Captain America route because we slept on that one.
Yeah, we did.
I'm not saying come out and being like, "Oh my god, I love this show." I'm just saying watch the show, give it a chance, watch the first 3 episodes. However many they drop that day, watch it and then just say you watch it and move on. You ain't got to bash it, you ain't got to hate on it. Give your real unangry,
Yeah, please.
unmad
Please.
critiques because they kind of want these projects to fail so they can save money. But we already lost Moon Girl. There's no little black superhero girl other than Ayana that is mainstream right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
we kind of need that. We need to see the representation. I know a lot of people hate that word, but in all honesty, we kind of need it. You know,
Mhm.
we need every if there's a superhero that makes sense to put in a storyline that can be in the storyline or that belongs in the storyline, put them in there. Don't leave Low and Stitches and leave out Gantu, okay? I thought I'd throw that shot in there. I'm hurt. I haven't seen the movie yet, but
That's the tall
that's
one, right?
yeah, that's like one of my favorite characters out the doggone movie, man.
That's the one that's hunting them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's not in the movie?
No.
Wow.
Um
I'm gonna
Another
watch it.
argument,
I'm gonna watch it when it goes stream anyway. But go ahead.
I'm gonna watch it for little Lilo. She seems like just a joy to watch. You know
The
my
kid
vendetta,
and
you
actors.
know, you know. Um they said the Hood is a terrible villain. How do we know he's the main villain at
I
the
don't
end
know
of
this
this?
man.
The Hood.
Hmm.
Did
When
you
you said him,
watch?
when you said the hood earlier, I didn't realize you were talking about a villain. I thought you was talking about the hood.
No, 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 no. So the Hood is actually a superhero that existed long before Riri.
Okay,
Um, did you watch the what is the What If?
I did. I did, but I didn't watch finish the new season, the
Okay, so in
newest
the new
season.
season, Shang Chi, there's
Hmm.
a version of Shang Chi in the Western world. The Hood is the villain they're chasing. Now, the cool
Okay.
thing about the Hood, and I don't know how much they're gonna go into this. It look like they're gonna do it right. The Hood is alive, or it's cursed, or something like that. He has magical powers. In the comic book, he has levitation boots and the guns. His magic, he uses his guns to to channel his magic through the bullets or something like that. But the Hood also takes you over and it turns you evil. It corrupts you. So
Hmm.
I'm hoping by the end of this, he's not the main villain, or they give us the more. I need him to be super deranged, like scary deranged.
Mm.
I don't need him to be villain of the week vibe
Mm. Okay.
because if he's not, the show will fail.
So
We're wrestling
hood.
fans.
So the hood has to do a great job.
Yes, we're wrestling fans.
Be like the good
Will
villain.
there be Stone Cold if Vince McMahon didn't exist?
True.
Will The Rock have gone on if Triple H wasn't there to foil him at times. So we kind of need that. We need the good villain. We need a
We
good
need a
villain.
good villain. We need a good villain.
And I like the actor.
I love
I
a good
never
villain. Who's the actor for the Hood?
I never remember that man's name. I never do. But he was in She's Got to Have It,
The show or the movie?
the show.
Oh, I definitely didn't watch that.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm a binge that, and it's another show I want to binge. I guess I'll be binging Ironheart and binging What If, because I did not watch that new season yet either. I'm
Anthony
I'm actually
Anthony Ramos
excited.
Parker Robbins.
I think I know that guy.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I think he's good. He's one of my favorite
I'm
actors.
actually excited to see this show.
I am too. I, I like Riri. I own a few of her comics. Um, Problem was she was like right at the tail end of my broke era in life. So so I had to that was during the time where I had to make decisions, either I'm gonna be a comic book collector or I'm gonna make sure these bills is paid and shoes on people's feet. So,
Mm.
I'm responsible. I just want to point that out. I'm responsible.
Well, you're responsible, all right.
I will say the trailer, while it was interesting, it didn't give us anything, by the way.
It gave us nothing. I
Yeah.
wonder if there are gonna be any more reveals of anybody else though.
What if Thanos shows up from What If?
Oh, the nice Thanos,
Yeah.
the
I'm
home,
I'm
the
gonna tell you
homeboy Thanos.
that's cool. Yeah. I kind of want to see. I want to see Misty Knight. That would be. I know she's not coming, but I loved that the lady that played her
Mm-hmm.
in Iron Cage so much. Like she made me love Misty Knight again. I always liked the
Mm-hmm.
character. I always liked the that she shows up at times to scold Spider Man. Sometimes I just thought she was a great character, and we needed more of her. So this would be an excellent time to just if there was a character you were just gonna shoehorn in there, Marvel. I think Misty would be a good one. Everybody needs a widow like character on their side.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
you got anything to add to this? We're both excited for the show.
It better be good. If it's not good, me, Disney, and Marvel is gonna have to have a conversation.
I'm afraid if it's not good, we won't see many newer experimental superheroes. I
Yeah,
mean, they canceled Nova. I don't
they
think
did
Nova's happening
cancel. They
anymore.
canceled it.
I haven't seen the latest slate, but I don't know if he's getting his own outing anymore. I know he'll probably show up with um the Young Avengers, aka the Champions, maybe. I'm still hoping they go with the Champions. Um we might see him then because he's on that team. So
Mm,
maybe.
maybe.
I mean, can I ask a question? What did you think about Daredevil, the new
How about
series?
how about I didn't watch it yet because I'm so behind on everything. I did watch
Yeah.
a couple of little things, but I have not watched Daredevil yet.
Oh, so we're in the same boat. I'm caught up on TV, behind in movies. You're caught up in movies, behind on
I am
TV.
caught up in the movies though. I am caught
That's
up in the movies
I no longer feel bad.
because I did see all the other Marvel films, but I have
I got
not sat down to watch their shows.
I'm gonna go see Thunderbolts
No,
or
you're
just wait
not.
for Disney Plus.
You're gonna wait for Disney Plus. Let's just be real.
I am. I kind of been avoiding spoilers. It's been working out so much,
That's
except for the
good.
major one that Marvel dropped.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They're the
yeah.
Avengers. Get out of here, Marvel. I knew that already, but still, get out of here, Marvel. You
But
had
they
to
didn't.
tell me I was
They didn't.
right.
They didn't. You'll see. I'm not gonna say nothing.
I know they didn't. It's not exactly the same thing. I know.
You'll see. You'll see when you watch the movie. It's
Let's
actually a
just be
really
real.
good film. It's
Let's just
actually a
be
really
real.
good film.
Let's just be real. None of them people, except for Widow, is Avenger worthy. I'm just talking about in terms of prestige of the characters. In terms of prestige of the characters,
Century.
we're gonna move on. Don't nobody like the Century. No, I'm just playing, y'all. I know I just had a whole rant. I'm just kidding. All right, last thing, last things. What do you you have to tell us the last things, Novocaine? What is the last thing?
While we were sitting here talking, I realized that we're kind of having a theme tonight, and it's where black women aren't appreciated, they aren't protected, they aren't listened to, they're not promoted. And this last woman that I'm going to speak about is another another black woman who has not gotten the appreciation that she deserves. And her name is Claressa Shields. Yes, I know she's in the news right now for all this drama because she decided to be with this boy. Well, I guess he's a man. It's giving boy vibes. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But
Are you on Remy's side? I'm just kidding. We ain't got to go into it. I'm just
I'm
playing.
not. I'm on black women's side on this one because when it comes to Clarissa Shields, why are we not understanding that this woman is a two-time gold medalist? She is the very first American to win the middleweight championship in the Olympics for women, and no one was talking about it. I feel like there was one of those
Hold on. We just can't. We can't just say that last part again. She's what now?
very first American. So that's whether it's men or women, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. Very first American to win middleweight
I had no idea. You just put me on game. I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know.
in boxing. And it's crazy. Now granted, when I do keep up with the Olympics, and sometimes with the Olympics it's a lot of things that goes on with the Olympics because there's hundreds of games, so sometimes it
Yeah.
is hard to keep up with every game. But
Mm-hmm.
this should have been one of those things that every American have known. This woman should be a household name.
She definitely should be.
This woman should be a household name for the simple fact that, like I said, the very first American, bruh, to win a gold medal in that sport. Hello,
It has been.
Why didn't we talk about this more? Like
I
like
don't
I
know.
said, it might have been like a how it is. They'll touch and go about it, keep it
Yeah,
moving. You know.
there was a decline in boxing that they're just now recovering from.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna be real. Again, we're pro wrestling fans here. I'm not gonna say pro wrestling did damage to other sports,
Mm-hmm.
but it's such a huge magical fantasy land of rough and tough men
Yeah.
that we didn't we don't get that in other sports.
Yeah.
And so when you go watch wrestling and the cultural phenomenon that it was, and then you go back and watch your other sports, aside from like Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield and a few other people, we ain't
HBO.
had we ain't had no real good storyline since the Paul brothers. And let's just be real here. As much as I loathe the Paul brothers, they kind of revitalizing the sport.
I don't know who her manager is. I don't know who her
I like the
PR
way you just
team
over. I
is.
like the way you just was like, and I'm gonna act like he ain't say it.
I'm not because I'm flabbergasted. I just found out all of this stuff like in the past 48 hours. So it's like cuz I was like I saw something and it was like, yeah, she's a gold medalist. What? I was like, wait, what? A Olympic gold medalist? What? I've only
Yeah,
heard about this lady in these past few months because of this drama BS. Like
she's
what?
a phenomenal character, but you need to know who people are, and drama is the fastest way to learn. Unfortunately,
Her PR team is trash. Whoever was representing her at the time was trash. She deserves so much more.
don't
There's
she
a
got a
whole
movie?
I was about to just say there's a whole movie out that came out last year. about.
Yeah, if I kept up with movies like I'm supposed to, I would have watched it by now. But
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
watch
hear
it.
anything else.
And Ryan Destiny is playing her. Like Ryan Destiny was in Star.
Okay, thank you.
She also was in Grownish, and she was in another show that I cannot always remember. But
So
yes,
let's just be real here. I'm like a little over 10 days away from being 39. You got to start telling me who these people is, man. You got to start telling.
yeah, I
I
know.
can't know everybody no
That's
more.
why I had
I
this. That's
can't
why
know
I
everybody
said
no
she
more.
was in Star. She was in Star. She was Alexander in Star.
Who did she play in Blackish? I did watch Blackish though.
No, she was in Grownish.
Grown. I watched at Grownish. Who was in which character was she?
Did you just say you watched at Grownish?
I did. I didn't keep up with everything. It was good though. It was
Did
very
you watch the whole
interesting.
thing?
I watched a lot of it.
You remember when Luca had a new girlfriend that wasn't officially his girlfriend, the dark skinned one, after
Okay.
Zoe? That's Ryan
Okay.
Destiny.
Okay. So let me tell you how I watch TV shows in my house. Shows like that. My wife watches them. I walk in the room.
And it's
I'm
on.
watching them. I'm watching them. We spend a lot of time together, so I'm watching a lot of her shows. Like I could tell you
Mhm.
storylines in all types of stuff. But am
Crazy.
I keeping up with it for myself? No,
Nah,
no.
nah.
Um, Congratulations though to her. She's Claressa Shields. She's dynamite. She's been dynamite, and I'm hoping that outside of this Remy Ma beef, I hope that she can be like the face of women's boxing like Layla was.
Yes, because she deserves to be.
Yeah,
She's
because
a phenomenal. She's a phenomenal athlete. I don't like her being in. Then she has some drama with the whole baddies thing. That's a reality show for you guys that are not familiar. She has some drama with that, and I'm just like, lady, that's your. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I maybe she's
we're not in that era anymore.
maybe yeah, true that. Or maybe she's at that point where she feels as though she's been needed the recognition, so now she's just doing anything. She's
I don't
doing anything. She's saying anything.
I
I
wouldn't
don't.
say anything, but she's doing a lot though.
She
She
don't.
is doing a lot. She is doing a lot. But we got one more.
Clarissa, keep your head on straight. All right, handle your business. Let's get to work with this boxing. Let me see what is coming up for the 2025-2026. I think she does have a match coming up soon, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, shout out to Miss Shields. Keep doing your thing, shouting. We got one more thing. It's gonna go deep for a minute. Pause. Um,
You should have started talking about that before Clarissa. God dang.
it's too late. Um, what celebrity did you defend because you didn't want to believe that they could do the thing that they were accused of?
None of them. Beyonce. Okay.
Thank you. I knew everybody got that one celebrity that heard some crazy egregious stuff, and you were like, nah, not them. I'm gonna tell you, no, before
What
I
she
go into
do?
mine. No, what you said, Beyonce?
It's not really for real. Like my real answer was I don't care. Like it's not none of them that I wouldn't. If they did some really egregious stuff, I can't defend you no more, bruh. Like I even
I
gave up on
don't
Kanye like 3 years, like 3, 4, 5 years ago. I even
I
tried to
mean,
defend him with the whole slavery was a choice. I was like, yeah, I mean, because mentally, blah, blah, blah. But like it's something that happened after that that had me on edge, and then something else kicked me off the edge, and now I'm running. I'm just running away. I was
so
running away.
so your celebrity that you defended for a while was Kanye.
It used to be Kanye, yes,
It
actually,
used to be
technically,
Kanye. I'm not
yeah,
saying you're doing it now. I'm saying
yeah,
that you no
yeah.
longer. It's
No,
like, let's say this is the celebrity that made you be like, okay, I was bugging for
no,
even thinking that celebrities was cool enough for me to be defending them like that, or something
yeah,
along those lines.
yeah.
Along those lines, because for me,
Uh oh.
it was Bill Cosby.
Oh,
It was Bill Cosby. I'm
hmm.
okay with saying that now. Bill Cosby was my awakening era. Okay,
Damn.
so it was like that was like y'all know I like a good conspiracy theory. but this is me really truthfully breaking out of the conspiracy theory hive of life. Okay. Um, so I was on Twitter and the allegations dropped, right? And I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it was that many women, but it was quite a few. And I'm like, psh, they waited this long. Psh, ain't no way he did that. Psh, this America's dad. It's Bill Cosby. He was trying to buy NBC. All the. I'm like, yeah, yeah, that do sound like something that the man would do to hold a black man down. Just give him a bunch of women that he didn't know. And then at the time, a friend of mine, I'm not gonna say her name, but we got into like an argument on Twitter. I wouldn't quite call it an argument. I say
I'm
a
gonna
very
ask you.
heated.
I'm gonna ask you who it was when you go off air, but go ahead.
You wouldn't know her. Thank you. Um,
Oh.
it was just it was an online friend that I had known for a few years
Mm-hmm.
before she exited us from Twitter way before the controversy happened. Like she
Mm-hmm.
was right at the beginning of it. Anyway, so we were having this heated conversation, and in the middle of the conversation somewhere, my mind was just like, BK, bruh, like you tripping right now. Bill did it. Okay, you have to let it go. You have to let it go. Bill did it, and she was like, "How could you defend somebody like that?" And my answer at that point was like, "I don't even know anymore." Like I was like, I'm wrong, and I admitted I was like, you are absolutely right, and I'm not just saying that just shut her up in this conversation. Like she was right. I was really tripping. Bill Cosby really did. I watched a hero fall that day, and it's just something you have
so,
to admit.
so what made you want to share that tonight?
Um,
Thank you.
no. I think it's important for people to know that, and I don't want to say celebrity worship. I'm not gonna say that for everybody because I didn't worship celebrities, but it was somebody that, as a youth, you saw so much of, and his PR was so strong that you can't break, like, you can't break the illusion.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And we're
Mm-hmm.
seeing this happen again. Not to be the one to bring him up, but Diddy is a prime example of that. His PR team, his PR, who he was, the legend that he built around him was so strong for a lot of people that it's hard to believe that someone could come out and say these crazy things about the
Oh,
person that you maybe idolized or you grew up listening to, or you watch him hit them videos to take that all your life.
oh,
And now you're seeing your world breaking. So to everybody that is watching this trial right now,
oh, Jesus!
that thinks that Diddy is above this and he wouldn't do it, have your breakout moment.
Please,
Let this be your breakout moment. Let this be your Bill Cosby moment, like it was
please,
for me.
let this be your Kanye moment where you're just like, you know what? Diddy did it.
Yeah, yeah. Allegedly, we don't know. Okay, we don't know. We can't prove that he did it, but allegedly
I
he
was,
did.
I was reaching for it. I was reaching for
Allegedly
it.
he did it. So if at the end of all it, and I will give you to the end of the trial, because I know sometimes it's hard to break away from your favorite person in the world.
But
But once all this evidence is laid out and you see that he was actually this person that they're saying he is, let this be the last celebrity you worship. Let this be the last celebrity you idolize. Break away, man.
bingo,
Break away. It's
bingo.
okay to break away. It's okay to be wrong. I was wrong about Bill. Dead wrong. He did it. And some of you people, y'all need to break away politically too. But I ain't gonna say no more than that because
Ooh,
we're 5 minutes over time. But I had to allow those 5 minutes
for
because I was
beginning.
fumbling at the beginning.
Exactly. We gotta make up. You want me to say the line?
Do the thing.
Head on over to YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us, oh, Instagram, then link. Thank you guys for stepping in tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the notification button so you can get all of the notifications so you don't miss a new
Yeah.
episode of us, you know? Head over to Apple Podcasts, head over to Spotify, like, share, subscribe, follow us, and leave written reviews.
And ooh, they are all only human. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that.
Thanks, Mom.
That's my favorite person right there.
Oh,
I like you too, Novacaine. You sis, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
that is legit like your second bomb at this point.
For real.
Legit, legit.
I didn't know if we could say mom on a live air. People like to keep their families.
It's too late.
But since it's too late, hey ma, how you doing? I see you.
It's too late now.
But anyway, we gotta run. I have been Instructor BK.
I'm instructing Novacaine.
Thank you guys for coming through. Hopefully we do more lives in the future.
Please.